बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। प्रथमं सद्गुरुं वन्दे श्रीकृष्णं तदनन्तरं गुरुपापात्मना त्राता श्रीकृष्णस्त्वमलात्मना कस्तूरीतिलकं ललाट पटले वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभं नासाग्रे वरमौक्तिकं करतले वेणुकरे कङ्कणम् सर्वांगे हरिचंदनं सुललितं कंठे च मुक्तावली गोपस्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयते गोपालचूड़ामणि नमः कमलना भाय नमः कमलमालिने नमः कमलपादाय नमस्ते कमलेक्षण यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तद्ध्वं देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। प्रिय भक्त समुदाय, दिव्यात्माओं, महानुभाव, dearest devotees of the Supreme Lord, the Divine Souls. First let me say Radhe Radhe to each and every one, and my pranam, my humblest prostrations to you. Also to all our viewers on Facebook, YouTube, Bhakti TV, etc. Also very special Radhe Radhe and pranam to all of you also. We have been listening to commentary on this very special, most divine book composed and written by Jagat Guru Tam Shri Kripalu Mahaprabhu. As mentioned, he's written many books, all very special. Prem Ras Siddhant, Prem Ras Madira, Braj Ras Madhuri, Shama Sham Geet, Radha Govind Geet, Yugal Ras, Yugal Shatak, etc. One of the most special ones, Bhakti Shatak. Shatak means 100. 100 divine dohas, couplets, containing all the philosophy of all the Vedic, divine Vedic scriptures, Vedas, Puranas, Mahabharata, Gita, Ramayana, etc. We have been listening to commentary on these verses, and we finished last night verse number 32, Bhattis. We now go into verse number 33, Doha number 33. Jai Radhe Krishna Radhe, Radhe Radhe Krishna Radhe,
Jai Radhe Krishna Radhe, Radhe Radhe Krishna Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna Radhe, Radhe Radhe Krishna Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna Radhe, Radhe Radhe Krishna Radhe.
शाम समुझ से शाम को समझ सके सबको ये राधे राधे।
शाम समझ से शाम को समझ सके सबको ये राधे राधे।
शाम समुझ से शाम को समझ सके सबको ये राधे राधे।
शाम समझ से शाम को समझ सके सबको ये राधे राधे।
शाम समुझ तब मिलई जब समझ समर्पित होए राधे राधे।
शाम समझ तब मिलई जब समझ समर्पित होए राधे राधे।
शाम समुझ तब मिलही जब समझ समर्पित होए राधे राधे।
शाम समझ तब मिलई जब समझ समर्पित होए राधे राधे।
जय राधे कृष्ण राधे, राधे राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे।
बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। So Doha number 33. शाम समुझ में से शाम को समझ सके सब कोई. So we heard yesterday in Doha number 32. First, the Vedas are saying, Tameva viditvat mitumeti nanya pantha vidyate yanai. Shvetashvataro Upanishad, chapter 3, verse 8. This Ved mantra is saying, only by knowing God, Shri Krishna, can the individual soul, we people, become free from Maya, the cause of all our pain and suffering, the cause of endless rotation in 8.4 million forms of life. So we have to know God. But when we try to know God, then the same Vedas tell us, Yasya matam tasya matam matam yasya na vedasaha avigyatam vijanatam vigyatam avijanatam. Kena Upanishad, chapter 2, verse 3. He who thinks he can know God, there is no one more ignorant, more foolish than him. On the other hand, he who understands that God cannot be known, there is no one wiser than him. So on the one hand, the Vedas are telling us we have to know God. That's the only way we can become free from Maya. On the other hand, the same Vedas want to tell us that no one can know God. So how to solve this? So here it's telling us, Sham samuj se sham ko, samuj sakai sab koi. One can understand, know Shri Krishna only when we attain the intellect. जब श्री कृष्ण की बुद्धि मिलते हैं तब समझ सकते. In order to understand God, to know God, we have to get the intellect, buddhi of Shri Krishna. Bhagwan is divine. And our material mind and our intellect, our mind is all material. Go go char jah lagi jag sab go char jah man jag lagi jai so sab maya jani hu bhai. That mind that we think with, the intellect that we know, the senses that we grasp, they are all material under Maya, material. And God is beyond Maya, divine. In other words, divine God cannot be known by our material senses, mind and intellect. I was just mentioned to you yesterday, Jaki rahi भावना जैसी प्रभु मूर्ति देखी तिन तैसी. These eyes that we have, what does it do? It can see. What can it see? Material object, material things. Because eye is material. In other words, if we were to see God or the saints who are God personified with our material eyes, we will see them as a material person with all the shortcomings and defects just like us. How we are on the inside, we'll see them exactly in the same way. So God, nor the saints who are God personified, can be seen, known by our material senses, mind and intellect. In order to know Bhagavan, we'll have to get the intellect of Bhagavan. And how are we going to get the intellect? Shama samuj tab milahi jab samuj samarpit hoy. When we surrender the word samujya here means intellect. What we understand it. Intellect. जो से हम समझ सकते हैं उसको बुद्धि कहते हैं. Buddhi. So how are we going to get the buddhi, the intellect of Sri Krishna, his divine intellect, to know him? We have to surrender our intellect. Usko samarpit karo. Surrender our intellect to Sri Krishna. What is surrender? Everywhere in the scriptures we have told that we'll only attain the grace of God when we surrender to Him. Bhagwan Krishna says in Gita, Daivi Hesha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya Mame Vaye Prapadyante Maya Meta Tarantite. Chapter 7 verse 14 Gita. Maya is a divine power, Shri Krishna is saying, a power that belongs to Him. Mama Maya, Meri Maya. So no one can become free from Maya through their own effort, own efforts, own strength. So how to become free? Mame vaye prapadyante. Only the one who completely surrenders to Shri Krishna can become free from Maya. In other words, we will attain His grace. He will tell Maya to leave us. So what does this surrender mean? Oh Lord, I surrender to you. Many so-called gurus tell the disciple, when you go to sleep, just say this, Shri Krishna Saranam Mama, Shri Krishnarpanamastu, Ramarpanamastu. In other words, the Lord is my sole refuge, I take shelter in Him. Just say these words. No, words have no importance to God. First we have to understand who or what is the performer of our action. Surrender means complete inactivity. So should we just stop doing everything? Impossible. In Gita it says, Shri Krishna says, Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishthatya karmakrit. Chapter 3 verse 5 Gita. It's impossible to remain inactive even for a moment. But what does surrender really mean? So what is the performer of the action? Is it our hand, our feet? Someone is doing puja with the hand. Someone is saying the name of God, doing jap, repeating the name or mantra of God with the beads. Doing Howard. Is this all surrender? What is performing the action? So the Vedas tell us, Mana eva manushyanam karnam bandhamokshayoho Brahma Bindu Upanishad. Second mantra. Man ev. Ev means only. The Vedas are saying, the mind alone is the cause of bondage as well as liberation. बंधन और मोक्ष का कारण मन ही है. The mind alone is the performer of the action. So we have to surrender the mind. Shri Krishna makes this very clear in the Gita. He says to Arjun, Mayyeva man adhasva may buddhim niveshaya. Arjun, give your mind and intellect to me. Surrender the mind, surrender the intellect. Not the act, not the physical action. Stop thinking when it comes to God, to the saint, to the scriptures. Do not apply your mind, do not apply the intellect. This is surrender. So we have to surrender the intellect. Do not apply the intellect when it comes to the instruction of the saint, the true Guru. When it comes to instruction of the scriptures to God, do not apply the intellect or the mind. So, samuja samarpita hoy. When we surrender, completely surrender the intellect, the mind, the intellect to Sri Krishna, then He will give us His intellect. Then we'll be able to know Him. Simple. Surrender our intellect. It's not easy to do. Uncountable lifetimes we have been thinking, making decisions. We think we know everything. This Abhiman is there. I know. We don't want to listen. If Bhagavan Himself comes and tells us as Guru, still we would not listen. Uncountable time we have met saints. We go to a true Guru, a true saint, and he gives instruction. We listen to his divine discourse and we shake our head. Sounds very nice. I love what Kripalu Mahaprabhu is saying, Jagat Guru Tam. Very nice. But, we put one but, lekin. I have to live in the world, I'm a householder. I cannot do what he's saying. How will I live in the world? I'm a householder. I live in the world, I have to do things according to the world. He doesn't live in the world, he's divine. How does he know how people live in the world, what they have to do? We've always done that. We refuse to surrender the mind, the intellect. So here it says, that's in order to attain the divine intellect of Sri Krishna, where we can know Him, attain Him, become free from Maya, we have to surrender our mind, our intellect. And then we'll be given it. Number 34, Doha. Jai Radhe Krishna Radhe, Radhe Radhe Krishna Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna Radhe, Radhe Radhe Krishna Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna Radhe.
जैसे प्राकृत देह की आत्मा जीव बखान राधे राधे.
जैसे प्राकृत देह की आत्मा जीव बखान राधे राधे.
जैसे प्राकृत देह की आत्मा जीव बखान राधे राधे.
जैसे प्राकृत देह की आत्मा जीव बखान राधे राधे.
ऐसे ही या जीव की आत्मा श्याम सुजान राधे राधे.
ऐसे ही या जीव की आत्मा श्याम सुजान राधे राधे.
ऐसे ही या जीव की आत्मा श्याम सुजान राधे राधे.
ऐसे ही या जीव की आत्मा श्याम सुजान राधे राधे.
जय राधे कृष्ण राधे, राधे राधे कृष्ण राधे.
जय राधे कृष्ण राधे राधे, राधे कृष्ण Krishna Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna Radhe, Radhe Radhe Krishna Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna Radhe, Radhe Radhe Krishna Radhe.
बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। जैसे प्राकृत देह की आत्मा जीव बखान, an example has been given here of the soul and the body. Jeev means soul, Atma, and the Prakrit Deha, this material body. This body we have is made of 5 elements, Prakrit, material elements. Kshiti jal pavak gagan samira panch rachit yah adham sarira. Body, this body which belongs to us, we're not body, body belongs to us, is made of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. There's something in this body who we are, which makes the body seem conscious, alive. While that thing is in this body, we can do so much things. We can see, we can hear, we can speak, we can eat, we can fight, we can quarrel, so much things we can do. And when that thing leaves the body, that gives consciousness to the body, everything is still there. Eyes, nose, ears, feet, hands, everything. But can the eyes see? Can the ears hear? Can the feet walk? Can the hands fight? No. Because that thing that gives consciousness has left. That thing is called Jeev. The word Jeev means that which itself is conscious, alive, conscious, and which gives consciousness to whatever it goes into. So Jeev, Atma itself is consciousness. And when it comes in the body, it gives consciousness to the body, life. It leaves, all consciousness goes. This just becomes a dead body, lash. So the master of this body is the soul, Atma, Jeev, who we are. Our senses, mind and intellect, they are servants. They are serving us, Jeev, Atma. हमारी सेवा करते हैं, सेवा. Everything the senses, mind and intellect do is to give happiness to us, the soul. Because of ignorance, is looking for it in the wrong place. But the nature of the senses, mind and intellect is to serve. Seva karna. Everything it does, every action, whatever it does, whatever the eye sees, whatever the ears hear, whatever the nose smells, whatever the tongue tastes, whatever the skin touch, everything. It's trying to give happiness to the soul, Atma. So the master is the soul, Atma, in this body, this material body, and the senses, mind and intellect, the body is the servant. In the same way, the soul that who we are in the Vedas and the scriptures is told to be the body of Sri Krishna, of God. Yasya Atma Shariram, Yasya Aksharam Shariram. Ved. The Vedas say The soul, Atma, the Jivatma, is the body of Paramatma, Bhagavan, God. The Prashna Upanishad also says, Sa pare akshara atmani sampatisthate. The Jivatma, the individual soul, resides in God. Keno Upanishad also says, Yau pranasya pranaha. God is the life of all living beings. Vedavyasji says in Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran, Hare deha pitamatma swayam prakritirishvara tatpar moolam sharanam yatakshemo ninamiha. Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran, 4th Canto, 29th chapter, 50th verse. Being the soul of all souls. In other words, Shri Krishna is the soul of all souls. Another place also in Bhagavad, Brahma is saying to Shri Krishna, Krishna me namavehitva matmanam akhilatmanam jagadhitaya sopyatra dehiva bhati mayaya. Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran, 10th Canto, 14th chapter, 55th verse. Shri Krishna is the soul of all souls. Atmao ki Atma hai Shri Krishna. So in chapter 4, the 4th Canto, 29th chapter, 50th verse, Vedavyasji is saying, Shri Krishna being the soul of all souls, is our fundamental nature to love Him, to serve Him. Just as the body, this material body, serves us, the soul, and wants to give happiness to us. It's given the wrong thing because of ignorance, but the nature is to serve, to give happiness. In the same way, we, the soul, Atma, being the body of Shri Krishna, according to the Vedas, according to Bhagavad, etc., it's our nature to serve Shri Krishna. That's why Gaurang Mahaprabhu says, Jivera Shwarupa Hoy Krishnera Nitya Das. The Jivatma, the individual souls, by nature, is an eternal servant, eternal Nitya Das, eternal servant of Shri Krishna. So our only aim in life is to serve Shri Krishna, to do seva, bhakti. Bhakti means seva, seva means bhakti. The word bhakti, the root word. In Sanskrit, when we want to know the meaning of a word, we look for the root, dhatu. The root word of bhakti is bhaj. Bhaj means seva karna. Bhaj dhatu sevayam, to do seva, to serve. To serve whom? To serve Bhagavan Shri Krishna. This is bhakti. So, our only aim, since in the life, is to serve Shri Krishna, to do His seva. We go to verse 35, Doha. Jai Radhe Krishna Radhe, Radhe Radhe Krishna Radhe.
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 Satya ahimsa adi man binu hari bhajan na पाए राधे राधे।
सत्य अहिंसा आदि मन बिनु हरि भजन न पाय राधे राधे।
सत्य अहिंसा आदि मन बिनु हरि भजन न पाए राधे राधे।
सत्य अहिंसा आदि मन बिनु हरि भजन न पाय राधे राधे।
जलते घृत निकलई नहीं, कोटि न करिय उपाय राधे राधे।
जलते घृत निकले नहीं, कोटि न करिय उपाय राधे राधे।
जलते घृत निकलई नहीं, कोटि न करिय उपाय राधे राधे।
जलते घृत निकले नहीं, कोटि न करिय उपाय राधे राधे।
जय राधे कृष्ण राधे 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 कृष्ण 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 राधे।
The divine qualities, Satya, Ahimsa, चोरी नहीं करना, क्रोध नहीं करना, किसी को दुख नहीं देना, इत्यादि. There are many divine qualities like Satya, truthfulness, Daya, compassion, Ahimsa, non-violence, चोरी नहीं करना, not to steal, किसी को दुख नहीं देना, not to give unhappiness to anyone, pain to anyone, etc. Many divine qualities that we love. We love it. Being a fraction of divinity, Jivatma, the individual soul, Chinmatram Shri Hariransham, Suksham Aksharam Apayam, Krishna Dinamite Praho Jivam Jnana Gunashrayam. Veda. The Vedas say the Jivatma, the individual soul, are fraction, parts, ansh of Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna himself says in Gita, Mama evansho jivaloke jiva bhutah sanatana. Chapter 15, verse 7. The Jivatma, the individual souls, are eternal parts, fractions of me, Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna is saying. So because we are part, fraction, we the soul Atma of Shri Krishna, we naturally love divine qualities. Truthfulness, non-violence, compassion, non-stealing, etc. We do it. We will tell thousands of lies. But if anybody lies to us, hey, how dare you lie to me? You always lying. Yes, I can lie, but you shouldn't. We don't know anyone. Let's suppose that someone who steals, a thief, considers stealing to be a virtue. When he himself is robbed of his most prized possession, what's his reaction? He's not happy, he's extremely angry. He should be happy you're following his example. No. So even though we will practice all these things, we will get angry, we will shout at people, tell them the worst thing. But if anybody shout to us, we don't like it. So we love these divine qualities, but how are we going to get it? So all these qualities, Binu Hari Bhajan and Napai. Hari Bhajan means bhakti. Without bhakti to Sri Krishna, Hari, Sri Krishna, we can never attain divine qualities. An example given here, Jalate Ghita Nikale Nahi Kotin Karya Upai. How do we get grit? Ghee, pure cattle butter. You take milk, doodh, you put a little bit of yogurt, dahi in there, you boil the milk, let it cool down to a certain temperature, then you add a little bit of dahi and you churn it. It's called matho. Then cover it and put it in a secluded place and leave it for at least 2 hours. All becomes dahi, yogurt. Then you take that yogurt and you churn it. It's called matho. You get makhan, butter. You take the butter now, that fresh butter, and you put it in a pot and heat it. You will get ghee, pure cow ghee, cattle butter. But that comes from milk. But if you take water, let's suppose there was something called lime, whitewash. It's just a kind of dirt. It makes the water white. Long ago, people were very poor. They didn't have money to buy paint, even now in villages. So they will take this lime, mix it in water and paint their house. It's white. It looks like milk when you mix it in the water. If you take that and you can churn it for thousands of years, matho is good. You will never get ghee. You will never get butter. You will never get pure cattle butter. You will never get ghee. So in the same way, without doing bhakti, bhakti doesn't mean puja, havan, jap, no. Bhakti means attaching the heart, the mind to Sri Krishna, selflessly, lovingly. This bhakti. Without that bhakti, these divine qualities will never come. You see, all our mind by nature is on the Maya. And so all the diseases of Maya is in the mind. As long as we are in the Maya. Kagavasundaji says to Guruji in the Ramayana, this question was asked about diseases of the mind, Manas Rog. And Kam Baat Kapalobha Apara Krodha Pitta नित छाती जारा प्रीति करहि जाऊ तीन हु भाई उपजई संयपाथ दुखदाई. Many diseases were told: greed, anger, lust, jealousy, hatred, many. And what it does. And then Kagavasundaji says, Manas rog kachukh mai gaye, hai sabke lakhi biralan hi paaye. He says, Guruji, I have told you a few. Many he has told. These are only a few. There are many more. Kachukh mai gaye. There are many, many diseases of the mind, Manas Rog. Or, hey sabke, everyone has all the diseases of the mind. As long as we are na Maya, as long as we are material souls, worldly souls under the control of Maya, we have all the diseases of the mind. Greed, anger, jealousy, hatred, lust, selfishness, everything. But Lakhi biralan hi paaye. It is extremely difficult for the worldly person to see how bad their mind is. Everybody thinks I am a very good person. People will come up to you and say, many times I go to mandirs, etc. People will come to me, Swamiji, I am a good lady. I am a good man. In other words, I am a saint. So this is not easy for us to see. How we can see everybody else, how bad they are. Oh, and we complain, this lady is like that, and this man is like that, and he is like that, and oh, and you, I am great. I am good. So we cannot see, it's very difficult for us to see how bad we are. Our mind is. What causes that? Something called ego, abhiman, ahankar. The ego, our ego, prevents us from seeing how bad our mind is. It will never go against itself. If one of us were to go in our bedroom by ourselves alone and ask ourselves, am I proud? No. Who gives the answer? The intellect, which is governed by abhiman, false pride. It will not go against itself. So it's very difficult to see. Actually, only when we go under the shelter of a true saint, a true guru, and through his grace, our ego starts getting destroyed, we're able to see how bad we are. Otherwise, we think we are great and we complain how bad everybody else is. Sometimes people come to me, I need to talk to you, okay? All right, I need some time. I want to talk to you. So I say, okay, come. Then they start complaining to me. Oh, this one is like that, and she's like this, and hey, I don't want to hear this. Oh, you never want to listen to me. Nobody comes and tells me how bad they are. Nobody will start speaking how bad they are. So only through the grace of a true guru that this will happen. So as long as we are under Maya, all the diseases are there. To harm or to hurt others, to want our own happiness, to be selfish, to get angry, all these things. Being a fraction of divinity, of course, we love divine qualities, but we want others to do it to us. So how are we going to get these divine qualities? How will this happen? Non-violence, that we will always speak the truth, we will never want to hurt anyone, etc. When Maya goes. Jab Maya chale jati. And how will Maya go? Only when we do bhakti, when we completely surrender to Shri Krishna. Mame vaye prapadyante maya metan tarantite. Chapter 7 verse 14 Gita, Shri Krishna makes it very clear. Only the one who completely surrenders to Shri Krishna. In other words, bhakti. Only true bhakti. In the Bhagavad Mahapuran also, Shri Krishna says to Uddhav, Yathagni he mamalam jahati dhmatam punah swam bhajate charupam atma cha karma nushayam vidhuya mad bhakti yogena bhajatyatho mam. 11th canto, 14th chapter, 25th verse. Shri Krishna says to Uddhav, only when someone worships Shri Krishna selflessly, shedding tears of selfless love, is the heart, the mind purified. Just as gold, when there is impurity in the gold and it is heated in fire, it becomes purified of the dirt, impurities, glows and attains its pure form. In the same way, only when we shed tears of selfless love, bhakti, for Shri Krishna is the heart, the mind purified, then pure qualities, divine qualities will come automatically, will come by itself. Doha 36. Jai Radhe Krishna Radhe, Radhe Radhe Krishna Radhe.
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 मन माया ते ही बन्यो, माया ते संसार राधे राधे।
मन माया ते ही बन्यो, माया ते संसार राधे राधे।
मन माया ते ही बन्यो, माया ते संसार राधे राधे।
मन माया ते ही बन्यो, माया ते संसार राधे राधे।
या ते मन भावत सदा, यह संसार असार राधे राधे।
या ते मन भावत सदा, यह संसार असार राधे राधे।
या ते मन भावत सदा, यह संसार असार राधे राधे।
या ते मन भावत सदा, यह संसार असार राधे राधे।
जय राधे कृष्ण राधे, राधे राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे।
बोल राधा कृष्ण भगवान की जय। The mind that we have, this mind is very powerful. This mind is also called antahakaran. Sometimes it is mentioned by one name alone, mind. And sometimes it's mentioned separately as three different things. Mind, intellect, the senses. Man, buddhi, indriya. So these three combined is called antahakaran. Also means the mind. This mind of ours is created by Maya. Maya se bante hai. Mind is material. It's a product of Maya. And the world that we see around us, this vast world that we see around us, mountains, valleys, trees, animals, birds, ocean, human beings, etc., etc., that is also created by Maya. Ek rachai jag gun bas jaake Prabhu prerit nahi nij bal taake. Bhagavan Shri Ram says to Lakshman, the outer world we see around us, mountains, valleys, trees, animals, birds, human beings, oceans, etc., is created by Vidya Maya, Gunavarika Maya. So Maya creates the world. The outer world. And Maya creates the mind, the inner world of our mind also. Ek dushta atisaya dukha rupa jabas jeev paro bhava kupa. Again Shri Ram, Bhagwan Shri Ram is saying to Lakshman, the inner world of our mind, our thoughts and ideas. What is the mind? It's not something you can see. It's called the heart, the mind, that thing that goes boop, boop, boop. No, not that. Our feelings, the thoughts. Someone tells you something very nice and you feel really good. And someone tells you something, insults you and you feel very bad. That feeling that you get, that is the mind. It's subtle. So that is also created by Maya. Another form of Maya known as Avidya Maya. Swarupa Varika Maya. Tehi kar bhed sunahu tum do Vidya apar avidya do. Bhagwan Shri Ram says to Lakshman, there are two forms of Maya. One Vidya Maya, one Avidya Maya. One Gunavarika Maya, one Swarupa Varika Maya. So Vidya Maya, Gunavarika Maya creates the outer world that we see around us. And Avidya Maya, Swarupa Varika Maya also creates another world, the inner world of our mind, our thoughts, our ideas, the feeling. So Maya creates both the outer world as well as the inner world. And this is why our mind loves the world. Because both being a product of Maya, the world that we see outwardly is a product of Maya, it is created by Maya, and the inner world of our mind, our thoughts, our ideas, etc., is also a product of Maya. Both, the mother is Maya. That's why our mind naturally loves the world and runs to the world. It's not naturally inclined to Bhagavan, to divinity. If mind was divine, it will naturally be inclined to love God, to love Guru, to love divinity. We wonder, why is our mind only running to the world? Why it loves the world? It gets bored when thinking about devotion, bhakti, doing sadhana. It's so hard because mind is material. So the nature of the mind being material is to love the world. Mind is very chanchal. That great Jnani Arjun, he said to Sri Krishna, Arjun, descension of Naranarayan, he said to Sri Krishna, Chanchalam mana Krishna pramati balavadhiram Tasyam nigaham manye vayuriva sudushkaram. Shri Krishna is telling Arjuna, control the mind, control the mind. Arjuna says, Krishna, how to control this mind? It is so strong, turbulent and unyielding. It is more difficult to control the mind than it is to control the wind. Chapter 6 verse 34, Gita. And Shri Krishna agreed with Arjuna. Asanshayam mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam. Yes, Arjuna, I agree with you 100%. The mind is indeed difficult, durnigra, difficult to control, but not impossible. It can be controlled. How? Abhyasina tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. Through constant practice, by practicing bhakti, doing sadhana, giving the mind the true knowledge, taking shelter in the true guru, in the true saint, acquiring true knowledge from the association of a saint, sattasang, true sattasang. Again and again, slowly, slowly, the mind will get convinced. Uncountable lifetimes of mind being attached to the world wouldn't automatically just change and get attached to Bhagwan. Don't expect things to just happen overnight. Many of us get depressed and dejected. I have been doing bhakti so long. I have been in satsang so long, doing sadhana, and I didn't attain God yet. It takes a lot of effort, hard work. Don't get dejected. Of course, if we just come in and be in the satsang and we don't make any effort, Guru has told us everything, how to practice, how to do sadhana. He's given us all the knowledge, and yet we make no attempt to do anything. We don't listen to lectures, we don't read the philosophy that Guru has given to us, we don't sit down and do sadhana every day. And then we say, I don't know what's happened, I'm not going anywhere. Or we want to blame Guru. We don't make any effort. We have to listen to the philosophy again and again. Avritti rasakrit upadeshat. There's a Vedanta Sutra which says, Avritti. Avritti means bar, again and again, and again and again. Do what? Upadesh. Listen to the philosophy given by a saint, a true guru. Read his philosophy again and again. Slowly, slowly the knowledge will sit in the mind, in the intellect. But you have to keep doing it. Don't be careless, don't be lazy. Some of us practice a little bit and then we go and we run after the world. Somebody works very hard for $20 and then spends $100. You work very hard for $20 and then spend $100. In other words, so we sit down and we do sadhana and we shed tears as Guru has instructed us, and then we go back in the world and do all kind of craziness. And then we wonder, why am I not progressing? So we have to be very careful. Do not be careless. See what the mind is doing. The mind wants to talk, see negative, think negative about others, find faults in others. That's very dangerous. That alone shows the mind is very bad, how faulty the mind is. And when you do that, you are adding more to it. One of the most dangerous things a sadhak, one practicing bhakti sadhak can do is to find faults, paradosh, to look at the faults of others. This is why Bhagwan Shri Ram says to Shabari, Sapne hu nahi de kahi par dosha. Not even in dream, sapna, to look at the faults of others. So dangerous is fault finding. And that's all we do all the time. Oh, hey, this one is like that, and that one, and that. Hey. And Guru is saying, don't do it, and we keep doing it. And sometimes I tell people, don't do it, and they get angry. All that you tell me, every time, that's all. Don't find fault, don't. And then they complain, I don't teach them. You never teach me, you never tell me. But when you are told the right thing, you get angry. Again, telling me to be humble. Again, telling me to be tolerant. How are we going to progress? And then we blame Guru. We blame Maharaji. So, it can be fixed. We have to take the mind, attach it to Sri Krishna. As Guru, we have to do sadhana. Sadhana means attaching the mind, removing the mind from the world. It's natural attraction for the world and attaching it to Sri Krishna. Mind is chanchal, chanchal, very wayward, very naughty. Well, Sri Krishna is ati naughty, ati chanchal. Extremely naughty. So take your naughty mind and give it to the extremely naughty Krishna. Then Sri Krishna will fix it. Attaching our mind to Sri Krishna, it loves naughtiness, so give him to naughty Krishna. It will get good. We have to practice. It will take time, it will take effort. It will happen, but we have to make the effort. We have to follow Guru's instruction, listening to the philosophy again and again, reading divine philosophy. Do not go and read Gita by yourself, Bhagavad, you won't get anything, you'll get confused. And so, you will get more confused. Listen to the philosophy. A saint is going to tell us what is in the scriptures. Don't read by yourself. The Vedas say, Acharyavan Purusho Hi Ved. Do not come and read me by yourself. Go to the saint, Acharya. Let him tell you what is written in Ved. Let him tell you what is written in Ramayana, Gita, Bhagavad. You read by yourself, you will give a material meaning to divine words. We have to go to the saint. So listen to the philosophy, the lectures given by a saint. Read his divine philosophy, Prem Siddhant, philosophy of divine love, etc. Follow his instruction. And that very chanchal man, the mind that is so attracted to the world, will get attracted, will get attached to Sri Krishna, to Radharani. Doha number 37. Jai Radhe Krishna Radhe, Radhe Radhe Krishna Radhe.
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 को कहत जो सब काम को, कह भजु सुंदर श्याम राधे राधे।
को कहत जो सब काम को, कह भजु सुंदर श्याम राधे राधे।
को कहत जो सब काम को, कह भजु सुंदर श्याम राधे राधे।
को कहत जो सब काम को, कह भज सुंदर श्याम राधे राधे।
हो कह दो एक संग करू, तब हो पूरन काम राधे राधे।
हाँ कह दो एक संग करूं तब हो पूरन काम राधे राधे।
हाँ कह दो एक संग करूं तब हो पूरन काम राधे राधे।
हाँ कह दो एक संग करूं तब हो पूरन काम राधे राधे।
जय राधे कृष्ण राधे राधे, राधे कृष्ण राधे।
जय राधे कृष्ण राधे 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 कृष्ण राधे।
जय राधे कृष्ण राधे 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 कृष्ण राधे।
जय राधे कृष्ण राधे 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 कृष्ण राधे।
को कह तजु सब काम को। Some people say, some philosophies, give up all desires. कामनाओं को छोड़ दो. The scriptures also. In Gita, Shri Krishna says, Vihaya kaman yasarvan puman shati nispriha nirmamo nirahankara sashanti madhigacchati. Chapter 2, verse 71, Gita. If someone is able to give up all desires, Vihaya Kama, there will nothing more for him to do. He would have attained everything. There's no need to do bhakti, jnana, yoga, anything. He would have attained supreme happiness. Just give up all desires. Prajahati yadakaman sarvan parthamano atmanyevatmanah tushta sita pragasta dochyate. Chapter 2, verse 55, Gita. Give up all desires. One who can give up all desires, he will attain true happiness. Bhaji Ram sab kaam bihai. Give up all desires. Prahlad says to Nrsimha Bhagwan, Vimunchati yada kaman manavo manasisthitan tahyeva pundarikaksha bhagavatvaya kalpate. 7th Canto, 10th chapter, 9th verse, Srimad Bhagavad Mahapurana. Prahlad says, forget about becoming a saint. If someone can give up all desires, they will become Bhagavan, God. Bhagavatvaya kalpate. So some say give up all desires, while some say, Ko kaha bhaju sundar sam. Someone says, do bhakti, worship Shri Krishna, love Shri Krishna. But Kripalu Mahaprabhu says, Jagat Guru Tam Shri Kripalu Mahaprabhu says, how kaha do ik sang karu? He says both of them are naive. Naive means they don't have true, complete knowledge. Actually, we have to do both of them simultaneously. Ika sanga karu, do, tabaho puran kam, then you will attain everything. So, the one who says give up all desires, that's good, but it's not complete. And the one says only do bhakti, is good also, but not complete. Both, we have to do both together. Try not to fulfill desires, not running after the senses. And practice in sadhana, practice in bhakti also. Both have to be done. Together, simultaneously. Do sadhana, attach your mind to Shri Krishna. Practice attaching your mind. The more you do bhakti, look, our mind is like a dirty piece of cloth, a rag, that's been dirty for a long time. Uncountable lifetimes of wickedness, sin, impurities, pap, greed, anger, jealousy, hatred, lust, all is stored in there. Uncountable lifetimes. If you want to make a piece of cloth clean, what do? You have to wash it in clean water. Shuddha pani, nirmal jal, nirmal pani. What is nirmal pani? Nirmal jal? God and the saint. When we think lovingly about Sri Krishna, about Radharani, about the saint, the true Guru, who is Radha Krishna personified, is like taking the dirty cloth of our mind and washing it in pure water. Some dirt and impurities will come out. But if after we do that, we then take that cloth and then dip it in a bucket of mud water. You wash it in clean water, you take soap and you wash it in clean water, the dirty cloth, some dirt has gone, and then you take it and dip it in a bucket of mud water, dirty water, it gets back dirty again. If after we are practicing bhakti, we still get angry, we still run after the senses, run after the world, then all your bhakti is in vain. You shed tears, you sit down and you cry for Radha Krishna, for Maharaji, you shed tears, some beauty has come in the heart, in the mind, and then you go and cry for the world. You run after the world. It's like taking that cloth that has gotten a little bit clean now, some dirt has been removed, and dipping it back in a bucket of grime, mud, water, it'll get more dirty. So both have to be done. Trying to keep away from desires. Try not to get angry. Try to keep away from lust, greed, etc. Practice that. And at the same time, do bhakti. Both done simultaneously will be able to attain the ultimate goal. Doha number 38 now. Jai Radhe Krishna Radhe 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 Krishna Radhe
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 काम क्रोध मद लोभ कहाँ मन मूरख मत छोड़ राधे राधे
काम क्रोध मद लोभ कहाँ मन मूरख मत छोड़ राधे राधे
रसिक शिरोमणि श्याम ढिग दे इनको मुख मोर राधे राधे
रसिक शिरोमणि श्याम ढिग दे इनको मुख मोड़ राधे राधे
जय राधे कृष्ण राधे 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 कृष्ण 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 राधे
काम क्रोध मद लोभ काम lust desires क्रोध anger mad arrogance lobh greed. So people in the world say you should give up these things. Give it up. Kam, krodh, madh, lobh, tyag. Bhajans have been created. Give up lust, desires, anger, greed, arrogance. Don't do that. You see, this is not something you can just take from one place. This anger, this greed, this desire, this is something like you can just take it and throw it away. I'm not going to be angry anymore. It doesn't work like that. It's not something you can just take and throw it away. Some gurus tell the disciples, the sadhana, write down in a piece of paper, I'm not going to get angry anymore. Write down, I'm not going to have desire. And you will not be angry anymore. Really? It doesn't work like that. So here, Jagat Guru Tam Shri Kripalu Mahaprabhu is saying, "Hey Murk, oh fool, don't do that. Don't give it up. Instead, divert everything to Shri Krishna. Divert it. Sanga sanjate kama kamat krodho bhijayate. Gita chapter 2 verse 62. The source of all desires is attachment. Lagav. First attachment. Then comes desire. Then from desire, if a desire is fulfilled, if we get what we want, lobh, greed. And if we don't get what we want, anger. So the root is attachment. Once we are attached in the world, we'll get worldly fruits. In other words, we'll rotate in the 8.4 million forms of life, we'll go to hell. But if the same attachment is taken and directed to Sri Krishna, how do we get attached to any person or object in the world? Dhyayato vishayan pusa sangas teshu pajayate. Chapter 2 verse 62, the first line. Shri Krishna says, when we think again and again, बार बार सोचते कि इस व्यक्ति में, इस वस्तु में सुख मिलेगा. We think again and again that I'm going to get happiness in this person or object, we get attached. That's how we fall in love, we get addicted. A boy sees a girl sees a boy, and the decision comes in the mind, that is the boy is going to make me happy, that's the girl going to make me happy. We think again and again, you get attached. And we say, I fell in love. Nobody falls in love. You fall in love and then you fall in hate afterwards. The same person you want to die for, you want to kill them. When they do what you want, when they listen to you, oh, I love you. And then they don't do what you want, they don't listen to you, they do opposite. I hate you, I will kill you. Jate kachu nij swarat hoi, ta par mamta kare sab koi. Sur nar muni sab kai hariti, swarat lagi karahi sab priti. Shankar Bhagwan is saying to Parvati, the basis of all worldly affection is selfishness. The more outward love and affection we get from anyone in the world, the greater is the selfishness involved. As long as someone does what we want, they listen to us, they do what we want, I love you. And when that selfishness is not fulfilled, that love finishes. And if that selfish aim is harm, that same love becomes hate. That's what we call love and hate. There's no love in the world. So this attachment We think again and again, bar bar. So Shri Krishna says in Bhagavad Mahapuran to Uddhav, Vishayandhyataschitam vishayeshu visajyate ma manusmarataschitam mayeva praviliyate. 11th canto, 14th chapter, 27 verse, Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran. Shri Krishna says to Uddhav, just as when a person thinks again and again that he can find happiness in any person or object in the world, he gets attached to that person or object, he gets addicted, he gets what you call fall in love, etc., and ultimately attains that. Whatever the mind is attached to, that's what you're going to attain. In the same way, if someone can be convinced that the happiness they are looking for, they will find only in Shri Krishna. Because Shri Krishna is happiness. If we associate with a true Guru, a true saint, and we acquire this only through the grace of the Guru, we get this knowledge that the happiness I am looking for, I'll find only in Shri Krishna. Just as in the world, we are looking for happiness in some person or object, and we think again and again and again, and we get attached. In the same way, if our mind, through the grace of a Guru, our mind, our intellect gets convinced that the happiness I'm looking for I'll find only in Shri Krishna, in the same way we'll think again and again. This sadhana, this is a sadhana now. Only Shri Krishna, only Shri Krishna. We get attached to Shri Krishna. And what will be the result? We'll attain Shri Krishna. Whatever we are attached to, we will attain. You will get attached to the world, you will get the world. You will rotate in 8.4 million forms of life, you will go to hell. You get attached to Shri Krishna, you will attain Shri Krishna, divine fruits. So do not give up anything. Take everything and turn it towards Shri Krishna. Greed is very bad in the world. But you get greedy for the love of Shri Krishna, to have the vision, to have the divine vision of Shri Krishna, to hear, to feel His divine touch, etc. Be greedy for that. Anger is dangerous in the world. It destroys. Divert it to Shri Krishna. Get angry with the mind that is not again attached to Shri Krishna. It only loves the world. Keep everything. Divert it. All this greed, anger, jealousy, all these things in the world is dangerous. Take it and divert it to the spiritual world. It becomes bhakti. So don't give it up. Matacho. Just divert it. Divert it to Shri Krishna. This is bhakti. We'll get attached to Shri Krishna, and the result is we will attain Shri Krishna. There's much more. We will hear other time. We will finish here tonight. Boli Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai, Radha Rani ki jai, Siyavar Ramchandra ki jai, Pavan Sutta Hanuman ki jai, Srimad Sadguru Sarkar ki jai, Shri Yugal Kunj ki jai, Shri Gurudham Bhakti Mandir ki jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.